38 horses were seized from a Michigan trail riding business following disturbing allegations that some animals were denied adequate food and water, left without veterinary treatment, worked with persistent saddle sores, and hidden from customers when they became injured. Former employees have also alleged that the horses were kept in overcrowded pastures, were not properly vaccinated or tested, and that at least one horse with a serious neck wound was sold without first receiving veterinary care. These allegations have not been proven, and the owner's representatives strongly deny them. They insist that the horses were healthy, recently examined by a veterinarian, and removed following what they described as a campaign by disgruntled former employees. But on August 12, 2026, Oakland County Animal Control took all 38 horses into protective custody after obtaining search warrants for 2 locations in Milford, Michigan. The animals were connected to High Vibe Trail Rides, a business offering guided horseback rides through scenic surroundings of Kensington Metro Park. To customers, the experience may have appeared idyllic. Quiet trails, beautiful countryside, and an opportunity to enjoy nature from horseback. According to the former employees who came forward, however, what customers saw was not the complete picture. At the time of this video, no criminal charges have been filed, and the investigation remains active. That distinction matters. A seizure is not a conviction, and an allegation is not proof. Veterinarians are still examining the horses while investigators continue gathering evidence and conducting interviews. The investigation reportedly began approximately 4 weeks before the seizure, after Oakland County Animal Control received multiple complaints alleging inappropriate treatment and inadequate care. Officials say investigators worked to corroborate the information before obtaining 2 search warrants from the 52-1 District Court in Novi. At approximately 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning, 6 animal control officers executed those warrants at the trail riding operation and at a residence on West Commerce Road. Removing 38 horses is an enormous undertaking. Every horse must be identified, safely handled, loaded, transported, and placed somewhere capable of providing appropriate care. Oakland County Animal Control received assistance from the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, Milford Police, and the Huron-Clinton Metropolitan Authority Police. The horses were transported to a rescue and rehabilitation facility in Howell, where veterinarian teams began conducting individual examinations and documenting their conditions. Those examinations may provide some of the most important evidence in the case. Veterinarians can evaluate body condition, hydration, muscle development, hoof and dental health, injuries, infections, soundness, and possible indications that medical problems went untreated. A horse may appear functional to an inexperienced observer while still suffering. A thick coat can disguise weight loss, a saddle can conceal a wound, and a horse may continue walking despite discomfort because horses as prey animals are naturally inclined to hide pain and weakness. That is why professional examinations matter more than assumptions based on a photograph, an online review, or a customer's brief visit. Former employee Haley Hayes told local reporters that she began working for the business in 2025 and quickly became concerned about what she described as malnourished and injured horses. She alleged that some horses lacked sufficient food and water, and she never saw a veterinarian visit during the 9 months she worked there. Hayes also claimed that injured horses were sometimes moved away from areas visible to customers. If a horse developed an injury, she alleged it could be placed in the backfield or taken to the owner's home. She further described overcrowded pastures and horses suffering from persistent saddle sores. In one particularly serious allegation, she said a horse developed a severe neck wound and was sold without first receiving veterinary treatment. Hayes also alleged that horses were not being properly vaccinated or receiving required Coggins testings. A Coggins test screens horses for equine infectious anemia, a potentially serious viral disease. Because the disease can spread between horses, testing is commonly required for transportation, sales, competition, and many other equine activities. Another former employee, Megan McDonald, said she initially came to the business as a customer, leasing horses before being offered a job. She described a troubling contrast between the peaceful trail riding experience presented to customers and what she claims happens behind the scenes. Both former employees say it required several people coming together before their concerns were taken seriously. Again, these remain allegations. They have not been proven in court, and the owner's representatives dispute them forcefully. Lucy Patznick, identified by local media as the owner of High Vibe Trail Rides, did not speak during the initial television interviews. Her boyfriend, Jason Robbins, responded publicly on her behalf. Roberts called the accusations a witch hunt driven by former employees with personal grievances. He claimed that an independent veterinarian examined every horse less than 2 weeks before the seizure and gave virtually all of them the highest possible body condition assessment. He also said the property had been tested for strangles, a highly contagious equine respiratory disease, and that the results were negative. Roberts further claimed that animal control had previously visited the property and found no violations. He disputed photographs circling online, saying some showed horses that did not belong to Patznick's or injuries that had not occurred on her property. Patznick has obtained legal representation, and her supporters are urging the public not to declare her guilty before all the evidence becomes available. That is an important principle. Social media is not a courtroom, and an online outrage can spread much faster than verified information. But respecting due process should never prevent authorities from acting when credible information suggests animals may be at risk. Both things can be true. People should avoid assuming guilt before the evidence is evaluated. And horses must be protected while serious welfare concerns are investigated. Oakland County Animal Control Supervisor Patrick Banning explained that horses must be provided with sufficient food, water, shelter, sanitary conditions, exercise, and veterinary attention necessary to maintain good health. Failing to provide one or more of those necessities may potentially constitute neglect, cruelty, or abuse. This is where the story becomes larger than one business. Commercial horses occupy a complicated position. They are living, sensitive animals, but they are also expected to generate income. If they are not carrying customers, they may not be earning money, but they still require feed, farrier work, dental treatment, veterinary care, safe equipment, suitable land, and knowledgeable staff. Those costs do not disappear during slow business periods or financial hardship. A responsible riding operation must allow the horse's welfare to determine its workload, not the number of customers waiting or the amount of money already collected. A horse with a saddle sore should not be saddled. A lame horse should not carry a rider. A dehydrated or exhausted horse should not be sent back onto a trail. And a horse showing pain, weight loss, infection, or distress needs proper examination and treatment. Customers can also watch for warning signs. Does a horse appear extremely thin? Are there wounds around the saddle or girth area? Does the horse repeatedly stumble, resist moving, flinch when touched, or appear exhausted? Is clean water available? Does the equipment appear to fit correctly? One observation may have an innocent explanation. Repeating warning signs, however, deserve questions and possibly a report to the appropriate authorities. For now, all 38 horses remain in protective care while veterinarians complete their examinations and investigators conduct additional interviews. When the investigation is finished, Animal Control plans to send its case files to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. Prosecutors will then determine whether the evidence supports the criminal charges. The examinations may substantiate the former employee's allegations. They may support the owner's insistence that the horses were healthy, or the truth may be more complicated than either side's public account. Until those findings are released, responsible coverage must leave room for uncertainty. But one fact is already clear. Horses depend upon people for almost everything. They cannot choose another pasture, schedule a veterinary appointment, remove an ill-fitting saddle, or tell a customer they are in pain. Their protection depends on responsible owners, observant employees, qualified professionals, conscientious customers, and authorities willing to investigate credible concerns. Whatever is eventually determined in Milford, these horses should not become numbers in a headline. Each one deserves an independent examination. Each one deserves whatever treatment it may need. And each one deserves a future in which its welfare matters more than its ability to carry another paying rider. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, I am not AI. If you listen closely, you can hear me breathing.